What's going on, guys? Adam here from A to Z Body Fitness, and today I'm going to show you how you can turn your small arms into 17-inch arms like mine. So when it comes to growing your arms or any muscle in general, like I've been preaching in a lot of my other videos, you always have to make sure that you're performing it properly. If you don't stimulate the muscle to the best of its degree through either your tempo, through getting a good connection, pressing through some body parts, good contraction, right? And then all of those together at the same time, you're not going to get the muscle stimulation that you could be getting had you done it to 100% of your capabilities, right? And the thing is, you might not get this all at once. It might take time, and it generally will take time for some people to do. Others learn it faster, others it takes a little bit more time. It's just the way it goes. But nonetheless, you always want to try and make sure you're doing this as best as possible. The other thing is nutrition. You have to obviously make sure when you're tapping into that muscle growth, so when you're causing your muscles to grow over time through repetitive exercise, repetitive contraction, you need to feed it the right protein and also the right calories in order to sustain the growth, right? What actually causes muscle to grow is when you do the actual exercise. You stimulate the muscle by doing the exercise correctly and putting it through more tension, right? Time under tension, which is accumulative to the things that I just mentioned not too long ago, right? So when you do that, the muscle fibers tear, and then that causes growth, right? And then it also helps to grow when you actually get more rest. So basically it's through sleeping and then through the rest of the day when you're not using it as much. And then the other thing is through nutrition, right? If you don't give it the proper nutrition, it will not grow. You'll cause stimulation through the exercises, the fibers will tear, and you'll get a bit of growth, but eventually it'll cap out and it'll stop because you're not giving it the calories that it needs to grow. So if you want to keep growing over time, every couple of months or 3 months or so, you're gonna have to increase your calories a little bit, right? In order to sustain the new muscle that keeps growing through the repeated amount of exercises that you're doing every week, right? So that's why it's important to have consistency and make sure you're doing the exercises properly to ensure that you get consistent growth. And then the other thing I just want to touch base on before I get into it is just that it's gonna take time. You will not get 30 pounds of muscle in a year. That's always way. You will not even gain like 20 or 15 pounds. It's actually difficult to actually put on muscle, right? And depending on your genetics, you might basically build it a little bit shorter or even faster than other people. Everybody on this planet can build muscle. It doesn't matter what it is. So when I say genetics, I mean the way your muscle's predispositioned to look, okay, how it looks. Some people have more square chest, some people have more circular chest, other people have 6 abdominals, others only show 4. Some people have more of a cupping bicep, others have larger. That's what I mean by genetics. And also the fact of how fast and how slow it'll grow. But regardless, even with that being said, that is such on a minuscule level that you don't even need to worry about that. At the end of the day, everybody can grow muscle, everybody can lose fat, everybody can get bigger, everybody can get smaller, regardless of what it is. As long as you're sticking towards your routine and you're trying to activate the muscle as best as possible. So the techniques that I use in order to help grow my arms to where they are now are these few things. Now again, just as a reminder, just remember, whatever exercise you do, okay, it comes down to how you perform it. It comes down to the technique. So over time, I've used, again, various amount of different exercises. I've tried a lot of different things because I like to do different exercises and experiment with different stuff so it doesn't become just repetitive and boring. Although 80% of my workout does consist of the same thing, but over time, over the long spectrum of things, I have switched it up, right? But it comes down to these few things that I've been doing for the better amount of years that I've kept incorporating that really helped them grow to what they are today, right? So the first thing is static holds. I find that doing static holds in the beginning for your biceps and even for your triceps really helps to stimulate them a lot more, really helps to shock the muscles a lot and get a lot of blood flowing within that area. And for your biceps, as an example, I would bring it up, hold it for 3 seconds, and then bring it down, right? Bring it up, hold it for 3 seconds, and then bring it down. And I would do this 3 or 4 times. And after that, I would continue with the controlled repetition and while squeezing the muscle as much as I can for 12 to 15 reps, right? and that would be one set. Sometimes I would put even the weight down and then crank out another 5 or so, and then put the weight down, but that would be one set. And I would continue to do that for 2 or 3 more repetitions. And like I said, I find doing this in the beginning really helps to stimulate the muscle and get it going for the remainder of the exercise. Another thing I would do is increase my tempo even more. So I like to do 5 seconds. So for example, again, just to show you, whether I'm doing a bicep exercise or a tricep exercise, if I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I would hold and pause for about 3 seconds, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I would do that between 3 to 5 reps. And then after that, I would continue by dropping the tempo down to about 2 seconds, and then again, pump it out to about 12 to 15 repetitions. Increasing the intensity like this in the beginning again is just another way to, again, push more blood into the muscle and really help tear the muscle fibers that much more. And again, it's something that really helps to set up the exercises that I'm going to do even more because of the intensity that you're already putting on the muscle. Something else I would do is very basic and obviously common knowledge that a lot of other people would do as well. I would get a really heavy weight and I would perform generally 6 to 8 repetitions and for only the first set, and then right after that I would drop set, okay, and carry through another 12 to 15 reps. Now sometimes when I even carried through to another 12 to 15 reps after the initial strength lift, so after the 6 to 8 repetitions, I would do static holds, or I would do 3 second or 4 second tempo repetitions both ways, or I would just do 12 to 15 repetitions, whatever I feel like that day. But you can play around with it. But essentially that's what I would do as well. That's another technique I did to, again, really help stimulate my muscle. And I found, and I still do this a lot now, and I found that basically doing a really heavy set right in the beginning when you have more energy and when you have a lot more power, you get a better response from your muscles because you're really shocking them as much as possible by essentially putting them through a lot of intensity with a heavier weight. And then dropping that after and going to a lighter rate really strikes them even more with the amount of blood flow, again, that you get into your muscles. And then lastly, something else that I would do, which is something that you probably don't really see or haven't seen before or isn't really that common. When I would get into the later portion of my exercise and I'm starting to really tire out, I would do something like a 2 pump repetition and then static hold and then down slow. I would do this with any exercise, but just as an example, just because it's easy to show you. Again, if I'm doing it with my biceps, I would do 1, 2, hold for like 3 to 5 seconds and then down slow, right? And I would continue to do that, again, just as something different and something else to try that would really put a lot of force on my muscle. And then I would do that as many times as I could, drop the weight, get a lighter weight, and then continue forth until essentially I couldn't do it anymore, or I couldn't go any lower with the weights that I have available. So these are very easy to do and very easy to apply yourself. Again, listen to your body and try and work to what you're able to do and then build up to it from there. You'll find that doing this is going to be a little bit challenging, but you're going to stimulate your muscle 100%. Just remember that when doing these, you have to keep the form as much as possible and get good range of motion when you're doing it so you can stimulate the muscle to the best of its ability. And you want to control it, because if you don't control it, trust me, you're not going to shock it to what it could be shocked to. You're not going to get the intensity that you could have gotten had you performed it properly. All right, guys, if you liked what you saw, click like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you thought about the video. I will be making a workout video like this to show you exactly what I mean so I can put myself through what I've been talking about and also to give you a better idea of what I was just explaining in the video, which will be coming out next week. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.